Welcome to English Awakens, the podcast where you improve your English through inspiring stories and practical advice. I'm your host, and today we're diving into a topic that touches everyone at some point in life: disappointment. Have you ever prayed for something with all your heart, worked hard for a dream, or hoped for a big change, only to feel like God, or life itself, said no? Maybe it was a job you really wanted, a relationship you thought was perfect, or a plan that fell apart. It hurts, doesn't it? That moment when your hopes don't come true can feel heavy, like a door slamming shut. But what if I told you that when God says no, there's still hope, purpose, and a path forward? This episode is all about why those no moments matter, and how you can turn them into opportunities for growth, step by step. Grab your headphones, find a quiet place, and let's get started on this journey together. Chapter 1. Understanding the pain of no. Let's begin with a question. Have you ever felt crushed because something you wanted didn't happen? Maybe you prayed for a new job, better health, or a chance to start over, but it didn't come true. Perhaps you studied hard for an exam, only to fail, or you hoped for a friendship to grow, but it faded. That feeling, when God says no, can make your heart sink. It's like standing at a crossroads, unsure where to go next. Why does a no hurt so much? First, we tie our happiness to specific outcomes. You might think, if I get this job, I'll finally be okay. Or, if this person loves me, I'll feel complete. When that outcome doesn't happen, it feels like you've lost something big. Second, we question ourselves. You might wonder, did I do something wrong? Or, why didn't God answer my prayer? It's easy to feel like you're not enough. Third, a no makes the future feel uncertain. You might think, if this didn't work out, what's next? Will anything work? That fear can make you feel stuck, like you're carrying a heavy weight. But here's the good news. When God says no, it's not the end of your story. It might be a redirection, a lesson, or even a gift in disguise. A no can protect you from something that wasn't right, or guide you to something better. It's not about giving up. It's about finding a new way forward. In this episode, we'll walk through practical steps to understand, accept, and grow from those moments when God says no. We'll talk about how to let go of the pain, find meaning, and keep moving toward a life full of hope. So that's chapter 1. A no feels heavy, but it's not the whole story. It's just one part of your journey. Let's move to the next step and explore how to start healing. Chapter 2. The power of accepting what is. The first step when God says no is to accept what happened. Now, acceptance doesn't mean pretending it doesn't hurt or acting like everything is fine. It means looking at the situation and saying, this is where I am right now. I can't change it, but I can choose what to do next. Acceptance is like taking a deep breath after a storm. It helps you find calm so you can move forward. How do you start accepting a no? First, let yourself feel the emotions. If you're sad, angry, or confused, that's okay. Sit quietly for a moment and notice what you're feeling. Maybe you're disappointed because you didn't get into a school you wanted. Say to yourself, I feel sad, and that's normal. Naming your feelings makes them less overwhelming. Second, try a simple exercise. Take a notebook and write down what happened. For example, write, I prayed for a new job, but I didn't get it. Then add one thing you're thankful for, like I still have my health, or I have a friend who listens. This small act shifts your focus from what's gone to what's still here. Another way to accept is to breathe through it. Try this. Close your eyes, breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4, and breathe out for 4. As you breathe, think, I accept this moment. It's not about agreeing with the no. It's about making peace so you can think clearly. For example, if you hoped for a trip but it didn't happen, breathing and writing can help you say, "Okay, I'll find another way to enjoy my time." Why is acceptance so powerful when God says no? Because it stops you from fighting what you can't change. It's like letting go of a heavy bag you've been carrying. You feel lighter and ready to walk forward. Acceptance doesn't mean you stop dreaming. It means you trust that there's still a path for you. If you're learning English, think of it like making a mistake in a sentence. You don't give up. You learn and try again. That's what acceptance does for your heart. Let's think about this for a moment. Have you ever had a time when something didn't work out, but later you were glad it happened? Maybe a no led you to a new friend or a better idea. Acceptance opens the door to those possibilities. So, Chapter 2 is about the power of accepting what is. It's the first step to turning a no into a new beginning. Let's move on to find out what that no might mean for you. Chapter 3. Finding meaning in the no. When God says no, it's easy to feel like your dreams are slipping away. You might think, "Why did this happen?" Or, "What's the point?" But here's the truth. Every no has a purpose, even if you can't see it right away. It might be protecting you from something that wasn't right, teaching you a lesson, or guiding you to a path you didn't expect. Finding meaning in the no helps you turn disappointment into growth. How can you find meaning? First, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? For example, if you didn't get a promotion, maybe it's teaching you patience or showing you a skill you need to work on. If a relationship ended, maybe it's helping you learn what you truly want in a friend or partner. Write down one possible lesson, like, "This taught me to keep trying," or "I learned to value myself more." Second, look for small blessings in the situation. Maybe the no gave you time to rest, spend with family, or discover a new interest. For instance, if you didn't pass an English test, maybe it gave you a chance to study harder and learn more words. Third, trust the bigger picture. You might not understand why God said no right now, but believe that this moment is part of your journey. Think of it like a puzzle. Each piece, even the tough ones, fits together to make something beautiful. If you're learning English, a no might come when you don't understand a conversation, but that struggle can push you to practice more and get better. It's not a dead end. It's a detour to growth. Let's try this now. Think of a no you faced recently, maybe a plan that didn't work, or a hope that didn't come true. Ask yourself, what's one thing I can learn from this? Maybe it's strength, patience, or a new way to think. Write it down, or just say it in your mind. For example, "I didn't get what I wanted, but I learned I'm stronger than I thought." This small shift helps you see the no as a teacher, not an enemy. Why does finding meaning matter when God says no? Because it gives you hope. It's like finding a light in a dark room. You start to see a way forward. You don't have to know all the answers. You just need to believe there's a reason. That belief keeps you moving. So, Chapter 3 is about finding meaning in the no. It's not just a closed door. It's a sign pointing you to a new direction. Let's keep going and explore what to do next. Chapter 4. Letting go of control. One big reason a no hurts is because we want to control everything. You might think, if I plan enough, pray enough, or work hard enough, I'll get what I want. Maybe you spent weeks preparing for something, like a job interview or an English presentation, only to hear no. That moment can make you feel powerless. But here's the truth. When God says no, it's a reminder that you can't control every outcome, and that's okay. Letting go of control is freeing. How do you let go? First, focus on what you can control. You can't control if you get a job, but you can control how you prepare for the next one. You can't control someone else's feelings, but you can control how you treat them. Try this. Take a piece of paper and draw 2 columns. In one, write what I can't control, like getting this job or what others think. In the other, write what I can control, like studying new skills or being kind. This helps you see where to put your energy. Second, practice a simple phrase. I'll do my best and trust the rest. Say it when you feel stuck. For example, if you didn't pass an exam, say, I'll study harder and trust that I'll get better. Then take one small action, like reviewing one page of notes or learning 5 new English words. Action keeps you moving forward. Third, let yourself rest. Sometimes trying too hard to control things makes you tired. Take a walk, listen to music, or just sit quietly. Resting helps you let go. Let's pause for a moment. Think about a no you're facing. What's one thing you can control about it? Maybe it's your attitude, your effort, or how you spend your time today. For example, if you hope to travel but couldn't, you can control how you enjoy your time at home, maybe by reading an English book or watching a fun video. Write down one thing you can do or just think about it. Why does letting go of control help when God says no? Because it frees you from worry. It's like putting down a heavy backpack. You can walk more easily. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to trust that there's a plan, even if it's different from yours. So, Chapter 4 is about letting go of control. Focus on what you can do, and let the rest unfold. Let's move to the next step and talk about action. Chapter 5. Taking small steps forward. When God says no, it's tempting to give up. You might think, if this didn't work, why try again? Maybe you prayed for a new opportunity, but it didn't come, and now you feel stuck. But a no doesn't mean your story is over. It means it's time to take small steps towards something new. Even the smallest action can change your path. How do you take those steps? First, pick one small goal that feels doable. If you didn't get the job you wanted, your goal might be to update your resume or learn one new skill, like writing an English email. If a relationship didn't work out, your goal could be to call a friend or spend time on a hobby you love. Make it simple, something you can do today. For example, if you're learning English and struggled with a lesson, try learning 3 new words or listening to one English song. Second, celebrate every step. Did you try something new today? Did you practice English, even for 5 minutes? That's a win. Write it down in a notebook or tell yourself, I'm proud of this. Celebrating keeps you motivated. Third, keep going, even if it's slow. A no might close one door, but small steps open others. For instance, if you hope to move to a new city but couldn't, start exploring it online or saving a little money each week. Every step counts. Let's try this now. Think of a recent no in your life, maybe a plan that didn't happen or a dream that feels far away. What's one tiny step you can take today? Maybe it's writing down a goal, smiling at someone, or practicing one English sentence. Say to yourself, I can do this. If you're not sure, start with something easy, like taking a deep breath and thinking, I'm moving forward. Why do small steps matter when God says no? Because they show you're still in charge of your journey. They're like planting seeds. Each one grows into something bigger. You don't need to know the whole path. You just need to take one step. If you're learning English, every word you learn is a step toward fluency. That's Chapter 5. Taking small steps forward keeps you moving, even after a no. Let's see what's next. Chapter 6. Building faith and resilience. To keep going when God says no, you need 2 things: faith and resilience. Faith means trusting that there's a purpose behind the no, even if you can't see it yet. Resilience means getting back up, no matter how many times you fall. Together, they help you face disappointment with strength and hope. How do you build faith and resilience? First, practice gratitude every day. This is a powerful way to strengthen your faith. Take a moment each morning or evening to write down one thing you're thankful for. It could be a sunny day, a kind word from a friend, or the fact that you have food to eat. For example, if you didn't get what you prayed for, you might write, "I'm thankful for my family who supports me." Gratitude reminds you that life is still good, even after a no. Second, reflect on past no moments. Think about a time when something didn't work out, but later you saw why. Maybe you missed one opportunity, but it led to a better one. For instance, if you didn't get into a school, maybe it pushed you to find a program that suited you better. Write down one past no and what came from it, or just think about it. This builds faith that today's no has a purpose too. Third, connect with others. Talk to a friend, family member, or someone you trust about your disappointment. Share what happened and how you feel. You might say, "I prayed for this, but it didn't happen, and I'm struggling." Listening to their support or even their own stories of no can make you feel less alone. It builds resilience, like having a team cheering you on. Let's pause for a second. Think of one person you can talk to about a recent no. Maybe it's a friend who always listens or a family member who encourages you. If you're shy, you can even write them a note in English like, "Can we talk? I need some advice." Or just think of one thing you're grateful for right now. It could be as simple as the fact that you're listening to this podcast to improve your English. Why do faith and resilience matter when God says no? Because they're like a shield and a sword. Faith protects your heart, reminding you there's a bigger plan. Resilience gives you the strength to keep fighting. Together, they help you see that a no is just one chapter, not the whole book. So, Chapter 6 is about building faith and resilience. They're the tools to keep you strong. Let's bring it all together in the final chapter. Chapter 7. The Lesson. Let's wrap up with the big idea. When God says no, it's not the end. It's a new beginning. A no doesn't mean you're not enough or that your dreams are over. It means there's a different path waiting for you, one that might be even better than what you planned. You have the power to accept the no, find its meaning, let go of control, take small steps, and build faith and resilience. Every choice you make after a no shows you're stronger than the disappointment. Think about your own life. What's one no you're facing right now? Maybe it's a job you didn't get, a plan that fell through, or a hope that feels out of reach. You don't have to stay stuck. Try one tip from this episode. Maybe it's writing down something you're thankful for, like a friend who makes you laugh. Maybe it's taking a small step, like practicing one English sentence or calling someone you care about. Or maybe it's trusting that this no is leading you somewhere new. Every action you take proves that you can keep going. Let's make it real. Take a moment now. Pause the podcast if you need to. Think of one no in your life. It could be big, like a dream that didn't happen, or small, like a day that didn't go as planned. Now think of one thing you can do today to move forward. Maybe it's saying, "I trust there's a reason," or doing something kind for yourself, like listening to a favorite song. If you're learning English, maybe it's reading one short article or saying one sentence out loud. Whatever it is, tell yourself, "I'm stronger than this no." Why does this matter? Because life is full of no moments, but it's also lleno de oportunidades, full of opportunities. When God says no, you can choose to see it as a chance to grow, to learn, and to find a new path. You don't need to know the whole plan, just take one step, then another. Every step builds a life of purpose, even after disappointment. That's the lesson. When God says no, you can choose hope, growth, and a new direction. You're not defined by what didn't happen. You're defined by what you do next. Start today and keep going. As we close this episode, I want you to feel empowered. When God says no, you still have the power to shape your life. A no is just one moment, not your whole story. Pick one small step today. Maybe write down a gratitude note. Take a deep breath, or try something new, like practicing English for 5 minutes. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to begin. Thanks for listening to English Awakens. If this episode touched you, share it with a friend who needs a little hope. Stay tuned for more tips and stories to improve your English and live with purpose. Keep trusting, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next episode.